Hello, welcome to my channel. This channel will mostly be stories, telling stories, bringing you a little bit of insight through my stories. Yeah. Please consider subscribing to this channel. I don't think you'll regret it. Some of you might know that I have another channel, Tomorrow Again, and this is also Tomorrow Again, unless I decide to change the name of it. But so far, I think I'll just leave it Tomorrow Again Story Time. It's about growth, you guys. It's story time. One of the most difficult things about getting older is saying goodbye to the past. And the older you are, the more of your past you have to move away from, sort of. When I was about 7 years old, I'm giving my age, it was the 60s. When I was about 7 years old, my sister, my grandmother, my aunt, and I went to the grocery store. And grocery stores back in those days were a little bit different than they are now. It was a cross between a little market and a sort of modern grocery store. My grandmother made me sit in the car with her while my sister went to the store with my aunt. It was taking them a while, and my grandmother had forgotten to tell my aunt to get bread. And I remember bread was, I believe it was 20 cents for a loaf of bread, or 25 cents. So she gave me the money to take into the store to give to my aunt to pick up the bread. I'm not sure to this day what made me duck behind a car. Something told me to duck, and that's what I did. Then I heard gunshots. Pow, pow, pow. The gunshots were coming from the store. I didn't see my sister and I didn't see my aunt. But then I heard my grandmother yelling, "Get down!" But something else had already told me to get down, but I still crouched even lower. And I remember my knee was touching the rocks and the pavement as I was trying to make my way back to the car where my grandmother was. Finally, I got back to the car. My grandmother snatched me and pulled me in there. I wasn't a real far distance from the car, but enough to where she could still see me. We both sat in the car, laying down on the seat, and we could still hear gunshots. And I remember peeking up and my grandmother popping me on my head to lay back down. But when I peeked up, I saw two men running out of the grocery store. And then they made a quick turn around to the front of the grocery store. That scared me so much. Every time I go into a grocery store, I think about that. Well, meanwhile, my sister and my aunt came out of the store. They were both visibly shaken, visibly upset. My sister was crying. And they had just saw these robbers shoot the cashier and one of the managers. Straight shot. One got shot in the chest and the other in the head. And both survived, believe it or not. I'm not sure what makes people desperate and do the things that they do, but these people did what they did. I remember it was in the newspapers, and it was so surreal to me to actually be a part of that scene, to be a part of that horrible scene. This is just a snippet of a story and of an experience in my life that I want to share with you guys. And what's the moral of the story? Maybe there isn't a moral. Right off the top of my head, I know. I always, and I think this is some sort of traumatic, post-traumatic stress response. But every time I go into the grocery store, I think about that. I'm on my way in the grocery store, you guys, and I'll be safe. I'll keep those memories, but I'm sure I'll be safe. This is Tomorrow again, wishing you the best of the best.